went and talked about the nation for a bit and the problems and if it's great and all of these things. So let's kind of zone back in. Let's go local for a second. Frank Somerville, for those of you that don't know, is a Bay Area anchor. Okay. And I want to make this like a very short and sweet topic. So give me 1 second. Gotta hydrate, guys. This episode is sponsored by Niagara Bottled Water. No, I'm kidding. Do sponsor me though if you guys, see this. Anyway, Frank Somerville. This guy's a local legend. He's a local Bay Area legend as an anchor. Everybody knows who he is if you're from the Bay, particularly if you're a new parent and you're old, because you're the only two that really watch cable news on a regular basis, except me. I tended to watch. I watched Frank Somerville a lot as a kid. This guy's really good at what he does. He's been in the industry, 30 plus years? He's been in this market like 30 plus years, the Bay Area market. Won multiple Emmys for his work as an on-air anchor. This guy has high pedigree. He's a very, very highly touted, highly respected anchor in this industry. Until the Gabby Petito case came out. So the Gabby Petito case comes out, and Frank basically says on air that I understand that Gabby Petito, and this was at the time that Gabby Petito was still missing. We did not know that she was dead. He basically said, like, Gabby Petito is still missing, and that's fine, and we should definitely do our best to try and find her and, use all the resources and all that. But why is this case so popular? Because there are indigenous / black / people of color that go missing on a 10 to 15 times higher basis, women and men, and we don't even cover them. We barely cover them. But the second a white attractive woman, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, and I'm changing the terminologies a little bit. But the second a white, good-looking woman goes missing, the whole nation is obsessed with it. It's missing white women syndrome. And he's right. He spat nothing but facts in that minute-long speech. The news network suspended him. They suspended him. KTVU suspended him from on-air interaction, which is bull, in my opinion. He was calling out the truth. He was doing his job as a journalist. And he's also married to a black woman and has an African-American daughter. And I understand where he's coming from with that. Being married, having an African-American daughter is no joke. Like, you're trying to look out for your own personal interests. You have a personal stake in this because you have a daughter that's half black, and you're also married to a black woman. And you're seeing the way the media is covering these white women, but at the same time, like, black women, like he said, go missing on like a 10 to 15 times more basis, and they barely graze the local headlines, let alone the national ones. Right? But Gabby Petito was the biggest headline in this country for almost a month. And Frank Somerville basically said that he was suspended, and eventually he went back on air, and he just, doing his thing. And he basically requested to the people at KTVU that they put a little ticker talking about, African Americans and people of color going missing underneath every Gabby Petito story. They rejected him, and eventually he was fired, or he quote unquote resigned, but was, technically it was like a firing by them. It was just one of those things where it was like, oh, we want it to be mutual, but at the same time, we want it to look good, but you're also fired. Dude. Oh, man. Gabby Petito. This case, I talked about this too. I talked about this whole missing white woman syndrome. I totally agree with Frank here. So that's why I'm like not anti what he's saying. They fire this guy. He has the highest of high pedigrees, won Emmys, been a Bay Area fixture for 30 plus years on KTVU at 11 every night in the mornings, every morning. And you just you can him like this. That's just, KTVU is doing them dirty. But also, this is like a whole reflection on national media itself, because they don't want to admit their faults. Frank Somerville called it out, used evidence, and basically kindly pointed to KTVU and said, yo, let's try and change this narrative. And they said no, and they cut him. They fired him. Imagine if this was a rookie. You can't say this if you're a rookie anchor. This dude has pedigree. He has clout in this community and with these people, with this station, but they still cut him. I cannot believe this. This is absolutely fucking outrageous. KTVU, what are you doing? What are you doing? There is no way that Frank Somerville should be cut for saying that. Really? And no one's talking about this either. People are just like, oh, Frank's gone. You ever think to like as to why he's gone? You ever think as to why Frank Somerville was cut? Because of saying something that was truly factual. It sucks. It sucks. It truly sucks to see a guy like Frank Somerville having uh no say in this matter and being fired. And he said he wants to, still go to maybe a competing network. And I hope someone in the Bay will hire him because that man is so talented and he's very good at his job. And if Frank, you're listening to this and you want to come out and tell your full story on my podcast, feel free. I'll tag you. Okay, let's get it done. Let's talk about this, Frank, because this is absolutely ridiculous what has happened to you. And I think you're pointing out all facts, and you can expose KTVU if you want, and I will be here for it. But yeah, that's what I have to say. Anybody knows about Frank Somerville in the Bay Area, like, how much of a legend this guy is. And, it just kind of sucks to see that he was fired for saying something that was not wrong and like truly factual and trying to do something about it. So that's tough. But let's go on from the news and Frank Somerville for a second and talk about music, because these are going to be our last two topics. And I want to end it on a positive note because I know everybody's talking about this. And I want to say this real quick before we get into music. Listen, there are a lot of people today that are going to be really upset about Kyle Rittenhouse, and they're going to let it drag into their days, and they're going to let these news headlines get into their heads and, talk and just woe is me, just, walk around unhappy for the weekend. Don't let this stupid headline, don't let these court cases, don't let these dumb things in the news affect you, okay? Like, don't let the news affect you. Because if you're having a great day, if good things are happening to your life right now, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Go celebrate that. Go out, enjoy some California sunshine, enjoy some Midwest snow, wherever you are, enjoy the day. Don't let these freaking headlines. I know I speak a lot of negative headlines, okay? I talk about a lot of negative things, but that's just the nature of the news these days. It's negative. There's not a lot of positive things. Maybe I'll talk about some positive things. That's why SGN was cool, because they talked about all the good things that were going on during COVID when everything was negative. We need to see more of that. I don't know where SGN went, by the way. Maybe we'll do a topic next week and talk about some good news. Anyway, the point is, guys, take care of yourselves. Enjoy what's going on in your life right now. Think about all the positives that are going on, because there are a lot of positives going on in your life. I'm sure there's a few, if not one or two. Don't let these news headlines get to you. Don't let like the talking heads talk you into this culture of fear and intimidation and all this stuff that's going to happen. And don't let them do that. Enjoy your lives. Enjoy it. Have fun. Enjoy what's in front of you and enjoy the moment, because these news cases, frankly, are, they're happening and they're out of your control.